We have a long-term plan, we have a short-term plan. It is also tried and tested. We've been through not only this last crisis, but several crises, and we've weathered the storm. We know which direction we want to take Singapore in. Now, the whole purpose of an election is to see how many people agree with that direction that you want to take the country in, and how many people have confidence in you to take the country in that direction. And I don't think that you can get any country, or you would certainly treat 100% election result with certain kind of circumspection. But if you have the majority of the vote, and the majority of people feel that they agree with you in the direction that you want to take the country, and the confidence they have in you in taking that country forward, then that's when you win the election. And that's why I think fundamentally the people should and will support the PAP, because you will see more opposition coming forward, and more credible and more competent and more skilled and more intelligent opposition coming forward. But just having one or two opposition members does not make a government. You need a party with a plan, and so far opposition hasn't reached that level. One day it might. One day you might see a Labour Party and Conservative Party like you do in the UK, where you have a shadow cabinet and a shadow government. But until that time comes, I think that you really want to see which government you have confidence in taking the country forward. That really is why I think deep down inside, that's really what people are looking for when they cast their vote. Some, of course, cast their vote with emotion because they feel that we should just have someone else who sings a different tune in Parliament. Fine. That's what a free and fair election is about. If you feel that way, then go ahead. But I think we still hold the majority in terms of people who have confidence in us and who would not want to see that government change. Let me tell you, before I entered politics, this was a question. Every election comes out, is the vote secret? They have all these numbers on it, they can track and all that. The vote is secret. I've been to the ballot boxes, I've seen how the thing works, I've been to the counting. The vote is secret. There's no way that they can trace, who voted for what. And once the votes are counted, they're put into a sealed box. And everyone sees this. Not only the ruling party or the winning party, the opposition are also there. The boxes are, once the votes are counted, the boxes are sealed. After the sealing process, they're taken to the vault in the Supreme Court building, and they're left there for 6 months. If there's no challenge to the result, the boxes are then transported under a witness thing where you have opposition members. And I did it the last election. I went and we took it to the incinerator, and the votes are burned. So at no time does anyone get any access to the ballot papers where they can sit down and, as if they've got all the time in the world to go and tally and find serial numbers and this kind of thing. It doesn't work that way. Because even if I serial number a ballot paper, let's say I take this one, which every country serial numbers a ballot paper, otherwise you don't know how many ballot papers you handed out, they give you 10 now, So you serial number a ballot paper and I give it to you. What happens after you take the ballot paper? Nobody knows, because you mark the tick, you put it in the box. And the only time that comes out of the box is when they're doing the counting. And then after they've done the counting, they put it back in the box and they seal it. All this is done in front of everyone. Opposition candidates and winning candidates. So at no time does that seal get broken. Next thing you know is you go to the Supreme Court building, the seals are still intact. So at the end of the day, unless you really fundamentally think that there is a huge conspiracy, the vote is secret. Personally, I think you will see more opposition contesting in the constituencies. Certainly, because we're going to have more single-man constituencies and we're going to have smaller GRCs, it'll enable them to contest in a wider range. You'll also probably get a better quality of candidate. I don't think you're going to see a vastly different quality of candidate. but you'll get a few that will stand out, as opposed to one or two that we had the last time around. The stakes will go up, and I think that this is a trend that will continue in Singapore. People become more educated, the younger generation become more educated, they have their own views, they want to express their own views. As a ruling party, and one of the younger ones in the ruling party, we're quite happy to hear those different views, and we want to hear those different views. So whilst an election is very much akin to a contest or a war, and nobody in the PAP is going to lie down and say, okay, we surrender, you carry on. That's not going to happen. And I think that as long as all the candidates, whichever party they come from, have the right mindset, have the right values in terms of wanting to contribute to the development of Singapore, whichever way they feel and whatever views they have, then it can only be for the good of Singapore.